Sometimes, life gives us everything we dream of. Except peace of mind. This is the story of a woman who chased her dreams, found success, but lost the one thing that mattered most, her child, fading slowly to a quiet hospital room. Years ago, it was a rainy morning when Clara lay on the hospital bed, exhausted but with a soft smile on her face. The cries of a newborn baby filled the small room. She had just given birth to a beautiful baby girl, but instead of joy, Clara's heart was filled with fear and confusion. She was only 21, with big dreams of becoming a famous fashion designer. She believed that having a child would destroy everything she had worked for, as the nurse handed her the baby. She hesitated. Tears filled her eyes. "You have a beautiful baby, Miss Clara," the nurse said gently. Clara nodded weakly. "Thank you. She's beautiful," she whispered, but when the nurse left the room, Clara looked at the sleeping baby and said softly, "I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't raise you now. I need to chase my dream." That night, Clara quietly left the hospital, leaving the baby wrapped in a pink blanket on the bed. The next morning, Nurse Grace, a kind-hearted woman in her late 30s, came to check on the baby. When she realized the mother was gone, her heart broke. "Oh, you poor little one," she whispered, holding the baby close. The hospital searched for the mother, but she never came back. Grace decided to take the baby home and raise her as her own. She named her Ella. Years passed. Clara's talent grew, and so did her fame. She became one of the most respected fashion designers in the city. Her name was on magazines, her clothes on billboards. She got married to a wealthy businessman named Daniel, and together they built a beautiful life, but there was one thing missing: a child. They tried for years, went to hospitals, prayed, but nothing worked. Every time she saw children running on the streets, something inside her heart. One night, sitting alone in her luxury living room, Clara whispered, "Maybe this is my punishment." Then she remembered the baby she had left behind so many years ago. Clara couldn't sleep. That memory haunted her. She didn't even know if the baby was still alive. But deep down, she had to find out. She started searching through old hospital records, visiting places she had long forgotten. After weeks of searching, she finally got a lead: a retired nurse who once worked at that hospital. When she met her, the old woman said softly, "Oh, I remember that night. Nurse Grace took that baby. She raised her like her own." Clara's heart raced. "Do you know where I can find her?" she asked desperately. The old nurse gave her an address. Clara drove there the next morning. When she got to the small but neat house, she saw a young lady coming out, smiling and laughing with her friends. Clara froze. She looked exactly like her younger self. It was Ella. Clara followed her from a distance, watching her kindness, her laughter, her simple life. The next day, she gathered her courage and went to meet Grace. Grace was older now, her hair gray, but her heart still warm. "Clara," she said softly when she opened the door. "I never thought you'd come. I've made so many mistakes, Grace. I just want to see her." "Please," Clara said with tears in her eyes. Grace sighed deeply. "She doesn't know the truth. I never told her she was adopted. She believes I'm her real mother." At that moment, Ella came in from school. She smiled brightly. Mom, you didn't tell me we have a visitor. Grace forced a smile. Ella, this is an old friend. Clara's eyes filled with tears as she looked at her daughter. That night, Grace and Clara sat in the living room, talking quietly about the past. But Ella, curious about who the stranger was, stood behind the door listening. When she heard the truth, that the woman she called Mom wasn't her biological mother, and that the stranger was, her heart shattered. She ran out crying, shouting, "You mean you left me? You left me because of your career? How could you do that?" Clara tried to reach her. "Ella, please, let me explain." "No. You don't deserve to call yourself my mother." She ran into her room and locked the door. The next morning, to clear all doubt, they went for a DNA test. The result confirmed it. Clara was indeed Ella's biological mother. Clara broke down crying. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm begging for a second chance," she said, but Ella avoided her for days. Every time she saw her, she turned away. Clara would stand outside the gate just to catch a glimpse of her daughter. Her once bright eyes were now filled with regret. One evening, Grace sat Ella down. "Ella," she said softly, "I know you're hurt. But she's still your mother. She made a terrible mistake, yes. But she's human. If I were in her shoes, I'd want a chance to make it right too." Tears rolled down Ella's face, "But she left me." "And yet she came back for you," Grace replied. "That means something." That night, Ella couldn't sleep. She kept remembering the pain in Clara's eyes. The next morning, Clara was about to leave the town. She packed her bag, heartbroken, believing her daughter would never forgive her. Just as she reached her car, she heard a soft voice behind her, "Mom." She turned around. It was Ella, standing there with tears in her eyes. "I'm still hurt," Ella said, "but I don't want to hate you anymore. I forgive you." Clara dropped her bag and ran to hug her tightly. They both cried for a long time, years of pain melting away in that embrace. Grace stood at the doorway, smiling through tears. "Now that's the family I prayed for," she whispered. Months later, Clara and Ella started a small fashion brand together, combining Clara's experience and Ella's creativity. They named it Second Chance Designs. Their bond grew stronger every day. Clara never stopped thanking Grace for raising her daughter with love when she couldn't. Life doesn't always give us a perfect start, but forgiveness can always write a beautiful ending. The daughter she left at birth, backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories like this. Red Heart Forgiveness heals everything.